Leadership. It's about using the knowledge you've gained to raise those around you. Every day, leaders are formed in every corner of the territory and in all 13 Yukon University campuses. In challenging times, we can look to the fragile but resilient caribou. It's the leaders who guide the herd along traditional migration routes. It's the leaders who learn from the past and forge the future. Generation after generation after generation. And so we hold the ceremonial antler high. And while we celebrate the knowledge we've gained, we also feel responsibility rest gently but firmly on our shoulders. In graduating, our students become leaders, migrating from learning and practicing to knowing and demonstrating the path. And though the future is unknown, the ceremonial antler assures us the unknown is not to be feared. It's just another story yet to be told. And we believe your story will be great.
Greetings, graduates, families, friends, students, and community. On behalf of Yukon University, it is my honor to welcome you to Convocation 2021. My name is Janet Welch, and I am proud to serve as Vice President Academic and Provost for Canada's first university north of 60, and as your host for today's ceremony. We live, learn, and today celebrate across the entire Yukon territory. I speak to you today from Amtagit campus on the traditional territory of the Kwanlin Dün First Nation and the Ta'an Kwäch'än Council. Our celebration opening video featured the ceremonial caribou antler, a uniquely northern symbol of Yukon University, with 13 carved areas to represent our 13 campuses. The antler tines represent the flow of students, research, and knowledge in and out of the institution. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate this important milestone, both for the 2021 Yukon U graduates, as well as those from our very first graduating class as a university in 2020. Because we were not able to celebrate our 2020 grads last May, we have included them in our ceremony today. Graduation is a remarkable achievement, one that requires dedication, perseverance, and tenacity, and that's in regular times. The graduates we celebrate today have risen up in the face of unprecedented challenges to reach their goals. It has not been an easy road, and that makes this graduation even more remarkable. This year, Yukon University has over 175 graduates from almost 30 certificate, diploma, and degree programs. Congratulations and well done, graduates. To the others joining us, thank you for recognizing the importance of this day with us and for the support you have given these graduates throughout their learning journey. These grads have worked so hard to get here. Their patience, strength, and resilience will serve them well as the leaders of tomorrow. We are honored to share messages of congratulations from Chief Christina Kane of Ta'an Kwäch'än Council and from Councillor Jessie Dawson of the Kwanlin Dün First Nation. Their messages will be followed by O Canada singers Kristen Jacobson, Melissa Cortez, Kranti Singh, and Boram Kim, all graduates of Yukon University.
Denja, I am Chief Christina Kane of the Ta'an Kwäch'än Council. My traditional name is Aklala, and I belong to the Crow clan. Yukon University is on the traditional territories of both the Ta'an Kwäch'än Council and the Kwanlin Dün First Nation. Today is historical for all of us here in the Yukon. You are the first group to be graduating from Canada's first university north of 60, and we at Ta'an Kwäch'än Council are so very proud to be part of this important event. Today, both the graduating classes of 2020 and 2021 are being celebrated. As a self-governing First Nation, we are pleased with the progress being made as this university expands, not only with its programming here in Whitehorse, but at all campuses throughout the Yukon. The opportunity for education here in our territory are increasing, and it's through the hard work and dedication of students like yourselves that this growth will continue. This year, COVID-19 changed our normal. Let's focus on how many doors and opportunities this world will create. Your classes have already shown great leadership by your perseverance and hard work in adapting to new ways of learning during these uncertain times. We are so very proud of each and every one of you. Please remember the world is yours now. Whatever challenges and successes lay ahead for you will be linked to your achievements that you made today. Congratulations and best wishes for all that is ahead for all of you. Be safe and take care. Shonithan.
Danjay, Masicho for inviting me to give this message today. It's an honor to be here on the shared traditional territories of the Kwanlin Dün First Nation and the Ta'an Kwäch'än Council to congratulate and hold up our hands to the graduates on this special day. You all represent a bright future for our territory. You are part of the first classes and second classes to graduate from the Yukon University ever. Congratulations. Graduating from a post-secondary school would be an accomplishment during a regular year. And you all know, we know, that we have not had a regular year. The pandemic has placed obstacles in front of us that we could not have imagined. And you all and Yukon University staff have worked through these challenges and obstacles, and you persevered. I know that it took courage, determination, support from family, friends and peers, and I'm sure that every single one of you had to sacrifice something to make finishing your education a priority. Now I challenge you to take that built-up strength and bring it into wherever you choose to do or go next. The sky is the limit. Go for it. However you want to let your light shine on our communities, our territory, and the world, it's yours. In closing, I have asked for prayers for safety, good health, and happiness to all. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and take care. Shonithan Kwinischis Masicho, merci, and thank you.
Up next, Yukon University Chancellor Jamina James Allen and Interim President and Vice Chancellor Maggie Mateer will provide welcoming messages. They will be followed by our keynote speaker, Paul Genet, who is introduced by his sister and well-known Yukon chef and author, Michelle Genet.
Akan Tsenu Shonithan, Jamena Uye Danke, Champion Asia Tsanidal. My name is Jamena James Allen. I'm a Gungda Wolf Clan citizen of the Shadal Ye Ishiyi Kodan, the Champion in Asia First Nations. I was born in Asia under a spruce tree to Bessie Allen and Jack Allen. I'd like to thank Chief Kane and Councillor Dawson for welcoming us all to the traditional territory of the Kwanlin Dün and the Ta'an Kwäch'än people. I'd also like to welcome all of you, elders, friends, families, and graduates, to our 2021 Convocation ceremony. I often say that I have one hand on the computer and one foot on the land. I believe it's important to embrace both. We need the education and the learning that comes from our schools and the Yukon University. We also need to remain connected to the land we live on and in relation with Mother Earth. Education nourishes our minds, our growth, and supports us in making a difference in our communities. The land heals and nourishes our spirit. It grounds us and connects us to why it's important to make a difference, to support those around us. I want to thank Dr. Maggie Mateer for stepping into the role of interim president and vice chancellor. In stepping forward to guide the university during what was already an unprecedented year, Dr. Mateer shouldered an immense responsibility. I'm so grateful she did. I would like to thank our students, faculty, and staff for all the incredible work to continue teaching and learning this past year. I also want to thank you all for treating this pandemic and all the measures to protect our health and safety with the seriousness they deserve. Yukon First Nations have suffered multiple pandemics in the 124 years since the gold rush. In the past, these pandemics have severely affected our communities, disrupting our lives and causing the loss of knowledge holders. I'm a survivor of tuberculosis. My older brother and my aunt were not so fortunate. I deeply appreciate how we have pulled together in the face of COVID-19. The inconveniences we've all had to put up with in this past year have saved lives. Our elders and those amongst us at greater risk of getting sick are still with us because of our actions. When I think of the graduates we are celebrating today for both 2020 and 2021, I feel pride, gratitude, and humility. Congratulations on reaching this milestone. Your journey has been challenging. Well done for staying the course and achieving what you set out to do. Gunashis, Masicho, Shonithan.
Hello everyone, I'm speaking to you from Dawson City on the traditional territory of the Tr'ondëk Hwëch'in. Dawson City is home to one of our 13 Yukon University campuses and the Yukon School of Visual Arts, which we operate in partnership with Tr'ondëk Hwëch'in and the Dawson City Arts Society. It's been quite a year. The COVID-19 pandemic has required that we find new ways of connecting, learning, and teaching. The rapid pivot to online classes for almost all of our programs was only possible because of the dedication, commitment, and hard work of our faculty, deans, and vice president academic. We're grateful to them and to all our students who've risen to meet this challenge. Your resilience this year has been remarkable, and I congratulate you for that. We miss seeing all of you in person and in our classrooms and in our campuses and our hallways, and we look forward to welcome you all back when it's safe to do so. Since our humble beginnings in 1963 as Whitehorse Vocational and Technical Training Center, we've grown into a college and now a university, the first in Canada north of 60. We've spent nearly 6 decades meeting the evolving education and training needs of Yukoners. Our goal is to offer a pathway for every learner. Our small class sizes and personal connections offer unique learning experiences, whether you're in vocational training, upgrading, academic programming, or professional development. And while Yukoners are our first priority, We also proudly welcome students from across Canada and around the world, many of whom end up staying and making Yukon their home. To that end, our certificate, diploma, and degree programs are grounded in the realities of living and working in the North. As a hybrid university, we're proud to have expanded apprenticeship training over the last decade to include all levels of carpentry, electrician, welding, heavy equipment technician, and pipe trades. We've also introduced millwright pre-apprenticeship and mine operations training modules. Our mobile trades training trailer has visited many communities throughout Yukon, and it's actually in Dawson City right now, where students are taking the housing maintainer program. This is just one of several programs that we've developed in partnership with First Nations and industry in Yukon. Our certificate, diploma, and degree programs in the caring professions continue to be very popular. Early learning and childcare attracts students from across Yukon, many of whom are also working with their own children and caring for families of their own. Our healthcare assistant certificate and practical nurse diploma programs are popular too, building capacity in the healthcare profession in Yukon. In Pelly, Carmacks, Mayo, Old Crow, Teslin, and the Kwanlin Dün House of Learning, we offered the Yukon First Nations Art Certificate this year. There are graduates this year from the 5 degree programs we offer in partnership with the Universities of Regina, Alberta, and Alaska. These include social work, education, education after degree, Northern Environmental and Conservation Sciences, and the Masters in Public Administration. One of Yukon U's own degree programs, Indigenous Governance, graduated students last year and this year. They're now making a meaningful difference in their own communities and First Nations governments. As we look ahead, I'm excited to hear from Yukoners who have shared ideas with us for our next strategic plan. We expect the Board of Governors to approve a new plan this fall. On a personal note, stepping into the position of interim president and vice chancellor this year has brought me in much closer contact with student leaders in our student union and on the Senate and board. I've been so inspired and impressed by their diligence and commitment and dedication on behalf of our students. And these young leaders have been particularly helpful this year by providing thoughtful guidance as we've grappled with when and how to reopen our spaces to students and faculty and staff. To the family, friends, and community members joining our celebration today, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for the many ways, large and small, that you've supported today's graduates in staying the course and achieving their goals. You play an important role in their success, both now and as they embark on the next chapter of their lives. And today we come together to celebrate our graduates from both 2020 and 2021. Both years have been deeply affected by the pandemic, and to both graduating classes, I say, if you can get through the past 14 months, you're pretty much prepared and capable of handling anything that may come your way in the future. So please remember this. After our lives get back to normal, or we settle into a new normal, think about the challenges of this past year, and more importantly, remember you overcame them. Be proud of your accomplishments, and be compassionate with yourselves over any moments where you weren't your best self. It's been a tough year. We are all so very proud of you for persevering and reaching this remarkable milestone, your graduation. So congratulations again, and our best wishes as you move into the future. It's all yours. Enjoy it, make the best of it.
Hello, graduates of Yukon U. We are all so proud of you. My name is Michelle Genet. I'm a local cook and writer and author of the cookbooks The Boreal Gourmet and The Boreal Feast. It is my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you my brother, Paul Genet, who will give today's Convocation address. I'm honored to be speaking to you from Ayandakut campus at Yukon U, situated on the traditional territory of the Kwanlin Dün First Nation and the Ta'an Kwäch'än Council. And yes, I'm in the kitchen. The location is appropriate, not only because I've been lucky enough to work here once or twice with Jean Batten, Ryan Cumming, and a host of students in the culinary program, but also because the kitchen is where my brother Paul and I have the most fun together. In my kitchen and his, we experiment, invent, and create. We laugh and argue and collaborate, all in the cause of preparing delicious meals for our family and friends. Paul adores cooking for people. Let me tell you that he is a fearless cook, bold, passionate, committed, inventive, and above all, generous. He never hogs the pot. He always welcomes another cook, another taster. He understands his ingredients. He is a master of balance, and he knows that a little bit of butter is never a bad thing. In the kitchen, as in life, Paul loves to serve. After Yukon University asked him if he would speak today, Paul called me from Collingwood. He said, "I'm deeply honored, but why did they ask me?" Paul is modest, but I'm allowed to brag about my brother. Let's have a look at his ingredients. In his professional life, he has rich experience in the academic, political, and business worlds. He holds several degrees, including a PhD in philosophy from Johns Hopkins University. He taught philosophy at Union College in Schenectady, New York, and he was CEO of the Ontario Council of Universities. He served as Director of Policy in the Office of the Prime Minister of Canada and as Deputy Minister in the Government of Ontario in several portfolios, including Francophone Affairs. For the past 5 years, he has been Senior Vice President at Power Corporation of Canada, where his responsibilities include policy, outreach, and charitable giving. In community life, he is a champion for conservation, for mental health, for the rights of LGBTQ2S+ people, and for the advancement of artists, particularly Indigenous artists. And he is fiercely committed to the principles of reconciliation and humbly aware of how much there is to learn and do in partnership with the Indigenous people of Canada. And on top of all of that, he is a great brother, a loving dad, granddad, and uncle, and a loyal friend. Plus, he loves the Yukon, the adopted home of his 2 sisters. Stir all of those ingredients together, add a pinch of mischief and a soupçon of humor, and voila, an excellent, balanced speaker, a fitting and inspiring choice to address you wonderful people today. Students, families, instructors, and administrators, please welcome Paul Genet. Masicho, Gunal Shish, merci, and thank you.
Hello, un grand bonjour à tous. I'd like to start my remarks with an acknowledgement that the land I am on near Collingwood, Ontario, is the traditional territory of the Indigenous peoples of Turtle Island, including the Ojibwe Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe. I note that I am speaking with students and their families in and from the Yukon who reside on the traditional territories of the 14 Yukon First Nations. And I know that up there you do not simply reside. You study, work, collaborate, build, paddle, hike, ski, snowmobile, fish, hunt, trap, forage, mine for gold, cook, hang out, and love in a vast and amazing space. Thank you for that generous introduction, dear Sister Mish. My sister, by the way, is a literary, culinary rock star who has lived very large in Yukon for almost 30 years. When the university asked me if I would do this keynote speech, I was very honored, of course, but I had to ask, are you sure you're calling the right Genet? So I will do my best as I ride in on her coattails. C'est un profond honneur pour moi de participer à cet événement à distance et d'avoir l'opportunité de vous dire quelques mots de félicitations et d'encouragement. I'm sorry we can't be doing this in person because of the pandemic. So I'm addressing you today from my family's log cabin, which dates back to the 1820s. I've been working here remotely since the start of the pandemic. I hope it has somewhat of a Yukon feel for you. You'll note the raven and the Chinook adorning my walls here, both by Yukon artists. Well, how the heck are you all today? I hope feeling really good and damned proud, notwithstanding the damned tough times we're all living through. I want to speak with you about, first, how great you all are for getting to today and how bright your futures are living in Yukon. Second, the brilliant significance of Yukon College attaining university status. Third, my own proud Yukon connection through my sisters and how they have thrived in that wonderful place. Finally, some brotherly or fatherly advice, if you'll permit. You get to do that in this kind of speech. So, first of all, a really hearty and full-throated congratulations to each and every one of you graduates and your families, whether celebrating the attainment of a diploma, certificate, or a degree. Félicitations. This is a proud day and one which you graduates will remember forever. You have done something truly meaningful for yourselves and your community by seeing your program right through to the finish. Every course, test, hands-on project, and assignment. And credit to you for your resilience, for doing what it took to get it done over the course of this past tough year of the pandemic. You're equipped with a new set of skills and a great credential. And you are living in a community that needs those skills, needs homegrown leadership, needs you. The creation of Yukon University is a very big deal. It was called for way back in 1973 in the watershed, Together Today for Our Children Tomorrow. That bold and generous document, crafted by the great Elijah Smith and his peers and presented to Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. Because of that courageous vision, groundbreaking land claims agreements established a framework for Indigenous self-governance as well as partnerships between First Nations and the non-Indigenous community. Partnerships based on rights, mutual respect, and a willingness to work together. Having your own university provides a layer of confidence for the whole region. It declares that cutting-edge research and learning relevant to your continued progress will be generated right there. Yukon University means that Yukoners, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, don't have to leave the territory if they plan to pursue a degree. Yukon University also connects your community to the community of university study and research in the rest of Canada, and indeed to the circumpolar network of universities. It is a bridge. This institution is now a rich hybrid model of diploma, certificate, and degree programs, which builds off of past strengths and incorporates new ones. Robin Bradash, your Assistant Vice President, Indigenous Engagement and Partnerships at the university, and a veteran negotiator, has emphasized to me how critical capacity building is right now, with Yukon First Nations implementing land claims agreements, running programs, launching businesses, partnering on resource projects. She stresses how critical it is to educate Indigenous people in the framework of the land claims and in sound policy making and administration. And hence, one of the first degrees is the BA in Indigenous Governance, jointly developed between Yukon First Nations and the university. Colson Ford, one of your dynamic colleagues, is graduating today with one of those BAs in Indigenous Governance. We had a nice chat, and he stressed that it mattered a lot to him to be able to get a degree and to be able to do it here in the Yukon. Colson also stressed how much he valued the academic rigor around such diverse and relevant courses as Indigenous economic development, philosophy, yay, and finance and accountability through a First Nations lens. And it looks like the program is just taking off, with 7 of you graduating this year, 23 in the year behind you, and 43 in the year after that. I'm sure Elijah Smith would be really proud and excited. So wear your Yukon U peaked caps and sweats with great pride. Although Yukon has always punched above its weight in its achievements, you don't have a huge population. Many tasks need doing for your community to thrive. You have the opportunity now to build that capacity in policy development, environmental sciences, health and education, justice, tourism, the arts, not-for-profit organizations. You can also help drive the next phases of construction up there as a skilled tradesperson. Yukon needs entrepreneurs ready to create their own businesses. You can help your community continue to address and build resilience to climate change and advance resource development in an environmentally sustainable way. where modern science and Indigenous knowledge both inform the understanding and the planning. You also live in a place that has a culture committed to collaboration, where you look after your community and where people want you to succeed. So this is a fantastic context to be graduating into. In many ways, you have advantages over other communities in Canada that are bigger, more hyper-competitive, and not always as friendly or as inclusive for some. Let me share a little bit about my proud Yukon connections, including my wonderful sisters and how they have experienced that place. I think it's relevant. But let me note first that one of my connections to the Yukon is through the wonderful Dr. Karen Barnes, who did so much to get the university project over the finish line. We met a number of times over the last couple of years, and she was eloquent and compelling in describing what a university could do for the Yukon, including for Yukon First Nations. So much so that Power Corporation of Canada, for whom I work, concluded we would make a donation to support your new Indigenous Institute of Self-Determination. We're really thrilled to be able to support this fantastic initiative. Let me share then a bit with you about my Yukon sisters. Mish, whom you've just met, and Anne-Louise, our younger sister, came to Yukon in the early 1990s, looking for something else. They had both left Toronto, the big smoke, feeling disaffected. They found stultifying many of the values and lifestyle choices before them in the South, the drive to get ahead, the glass ceilings for women as well that were so apparent. Both sisters brought to Yukon big hearts, fierce intellects, and creative souls, and a world opened up for them. They found a burgeoning art scene, a progressive politics, and a caring community, plus a set of opportunities that allowed each of them to blossom. They acclimatized to the cold, embraced the landscape, foraged for berries, got fit so they could hike mountains, learned to stop thinking there was a scary big grizzly bear behind every bush. Anne-Louise, who came first, worked as a custodian, then at a women's shelter, subsequently as a baker, then an arts administrator. Along the way, she picked up a guitar, worked away at it. She learned to play beautifully and with heart. Wrote music, went to open mics at the Gold Rush, the T&M, the Backwater, got an album produced at Old Crow Recording. She's now done 6 albums. She and her band Annie Lou were nominated for a Juno Award a few years ago in the Folk and Roots category. When I asked her, what was it about the place that allowed you to thrive, she said big things were the lack of pretension and the acceptance of others in their variety. She liked that you dress comfortably and sensibly. Skidoo suits, hiking boots, layers, bush clothing, no clothing, whatever the climate or weather calls for. She found people seemed to want others to do well more than they desired to compete with or outdo them, and it worked for her. Michelle has also flourished here on her creative path for over 25 years as a cook, chef, writer, public servant, and published author of best-selling cookbooks. These works are rooted in the bounty of the boreal forest and local traditions, full of great adventures and Yukon personalities. When I asked Mish the same question, what went on here for you? Why did things just take off so beautifully? She noted how opportunities abound in Yukon. Plus, people are just so encouraging. It fostered a spirit of measured risk-taking in her, where when she was presented with something that was, maybe a bit over her head, she learned to just say yes. She would find out she could do it and that things would work out. She needed her dogged grit and great flair, but this expansive and welcoming place fostered in her a can-do attitude. I'm immensely proud of my 2 sisters, and their spirits have deepened my own enthusiasms for the out-of-doors, for cooking, baking, music, for life, and also helped me to appreciate what a special kind of place Yukon is. The reason I'm telling you about my sisters is not to dine out on their celebrity, but to emphasize what a land of opportunity is lying in front of all of you who are already there. You have something very special in those parts, appreciate it, and make the most of it. The community needs homegrown leaders. You can be these leaders. Yukon history is rich in amazing Indigenous leaders. Chief Kishwood Jim Boss, Chief Isaac, Elijah Smith. I asked my old boss, former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, if he could share a bit about his recollections of Elijah Smith. Chrétien spoke very admiringly of Elijah. He said, he had an impressive physical presence, a lot of calm. We discussed tough issues and problems. He did not pound the table at me, but he was forceful. He always had a nice way about him. We became friends. I was proud to be his friend. Chrétien, by the way, also recognizes that you are all a bit hockey mad up there. We certainly know in the South about Dylan Cousins, the workhorse from Whitehorse. Chrétien told me about how one year he convinced the Montreal Canadiens captain, hockey great Jean Beliveau, to accompany him on a trip to Whitehorse for the Yukon Rendezvous Festival. Mr. Chrétien said, although I was the minister, nobody paid me any attention at all. He did not mind. As you get ready to set off on this next phase of your lives, if you will indulge me, I would like to give you a bit of life advice. First of all, build on your strengths and your training, but do just say yes. It is amazing what you can do with a given education. It doesn't have to be exactly what you studied for. Be smart about this advice. Don't show up to do surgery if you don't have those qualifications, but do stretch yourself. I studied to become a philosophy professor, and I ended up advising a prime minister. There are a variety of routes to your destination. Be kind. Strive to be a good person and a wise one. You don't have to be a genius to be wise. Study leaders whom you can see are wise and who act with grace. How they do things, say things, how they make decisions, how they step forward. See if one of them might agree to be a mentor for you. Just meet once in a while to talk about how things are going, about career opportunities or difficult decisions. And once you have an income, get some professional financial advice early. This is really boring advice, but I really mean it. An advisor can help you to have a budget, live within your means, and strive to start saving and investing. Aim to save 5% of what you earn each month and build towards 10%. Saving for your future, building some financial security, not racking up credit card debt. These things build your confidence, reduce stress, help you achieve good peace of mind. It took me 30 plus years after my BA to learn these simple concepts. No one really pointed them out to me back then, and I wish they had. So that's why I'm telling you today. And when you have an income, donate some of your money, even just a little bit, if it is all you can afford. It feels good. There are many good causes that can use your financial assistance. If you can't afford to donate yet, give a bit of your time. Volunteer. That also feels good. Make friends, not enemies, as you go through life. And be a good friend to your friends. Try to be there when they need support. We all struggle at some point. Take the initiative in being generous, doing kindnesses, doing stuff for them without being asked. Be forgiving of their foibles and missteps. Be a good child to your parents or main caregivers. Maybe that is your grandparents. As you get older, you will appreciate them more and more. And when they're gone, they're gone. And try to know yourself and love yourself. Be mindful. You know, you are the fulfillment of a dream. Yukon needs you. Yukon is waiting for you. Your leadership, your skills, your smarts, your good hearts. Yukon is an amazing place. Canada is an amazing country, but neither is perfect. The challenges are big, and so are the opportunities to make them better. You can help make this happen and build a good life for yourself and those around you. In closing then, allow me to say to you, just say yes. Thank you again so much for inviting me to speak with you and share your day. Un grand merci. Bon courage et bonne chance. Mazicho Kunalchish.
We are also grateful to Paul Genet and Power Corporation of Canada for their recent donation of $100,000 to Yukon University to support the development of an Institute of Indigenous Self-Determination. Thank you so much for this generous contribution to establishing a place for this vital area of research and scholarly activity. Each year, a student is selected from a pool of outstanding nominees to speak to their fellow graduates at Convocation. Colson Ford has earned a Bachelor of Arts in Indigenous Governance. Colson has been a student at Tr'ondëk campus for 3 years, all the while keeping strong connections to his home community of Burwash Landing, where he is serving a second term as youth counselor for Kwanlin First Nation. With his consistently high grades, Colson made the Dean's List every semester in his time with us. He's a strong leader who always finds ways to encourage and support his fellow classmates, particularly through the pandemic, when he reached out to Yukon U leadership to talk about how hard the student experience is in this time and to suggest ways to bring students together. His efforts led to the reopening of Roddy's Camp as a safe outdoor space to gather. Throughout his time at Yukon U, Colson impressed faculty with his engagement, tenacity, thought-provoking questions, ethics, and passion for learning. As a graduate of the first Made in the Yukon degree, Colson is a trailblazer with an impassioned voice and an enthusiastic commitment to seeing Yukon First Nations thrive in self-determination.
Before I begin, I acknowledge we are on the traditional territories of Kwanlin Dün First Nation and Ta'an Kwäch'än Council. It is beyond important that we truly recognize where we stand and understand what opportunities or benefits exist here. I have always been told, when you are on our lands, you have a responsibility to the land and your family here. When you go to other people's land, you exercise the utmost respect and honor in every aspect. Many people acknowledge the lands we are on, but fail to explain the importance and connection between land, land use, and relationships. My name is Colson Ford. I am Wolf Moiety and Killer Whale Clan. I am a Kwanlin First Nation youth, leader, and dreamer. My great-grandmother is Babe Southwick, my grandmother is Grace Southwick, and my mother is Tosh Southwick. I am graduating today from the Indigenous Governance degree. I am extremely honored, proud, and excited to congratulate the Yukon University class of 2021 in our monumental accomplishment. We have watched the evolution of Yukon College into Yukon University, and today we share our achievements with our family, friends, and communities. I was beyond nervous and excited to enroll into a brand new degree program as a freshly graduated student from high school. Immediately, I discovered that our post-secondary institution fulfills a completely different role in our community and provides a different experience for its students than compared to institutions down south. This feeling only grew in the 3 years that I studied here. Faculty, students, and partners from across the Yukon come together at this place to invest in ourselves, our families, and our communities. We as students learn many important lessons as we progress in our educational journeys. These lessons come from the classes we share, the experiences we create, and the paths each of us forge. Although we don't always complete our course evaluations, and sometimes we have to ask for an extension for an assignment we haven't yet started, we made it. Through our relationships, we find meaning in our educational discoveries. We as students have the authority and responsibility to create space for our relationships. In our busy world, it is our relationships which sustain and give us purpose. Our community in the Yukon is interconnected in every sense of the word. The opportunities that exist here are ours to take. We have the skills, the confidence, and the respect to be the change our communities need. Yukon First Nations understand the importance of education for our peoples. We as Indigenous students are constantly aware of the legacy of our exclusion from academic spaces. Our families, nations, and communities hold us up and raise their voices with pride as we walk hand in hand into the next part of our lives. Through our collective might, we will actualize a future where our people are healthy, prosperous, and determined. Through our relationships with each other and the land, the Yukon will be the cradle of our imaginations and success. Students, you fought hard, made sacrifices, and persevered to reach today. It is time to rest, reflect, and share our accomplishments with those closest to us. Family and friends, you watch the people you always encouraged and fostered become the remarkably adaptable, passionate, and empathetic individuals you knew they would. Stand tall, hold your heads high, and shout with joy as we recognize the amazing people who are surely the leaders of the future. Today is not like any other day. Today belongs to us, and the overall importance cannot be understated. The work we have done, the work we are doing, and the work we will do reflects our dedication to investing in our shared futures. The future we face tomorrow is uncertain, but that does not diminish the accomplishments of today. Congratulations, Yukon University class of 2021. The future is ours to explore. Until then, let's celebrate, sleep in, and continue taking it one day at a time. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you to Coulson for your thoughts, reflections, and words of wisdom. Our students truly are the heart of Yukon University, and having you share your perspectives with not only this year's graduates, but also with students of the future is much appreciated. Thank you for your remarkable contributions to Yukon U. We are all excited to watch you on the next steps of your journey. This past fall, as his first official duty, Chancellor Jemina James Allen conferred Audrey McLaughlin and Daka Dave Joe with first honorary credentials of Yukon University. Today we acknowledge and celebrate another two trailblazing Yukoners who have made outstanding contributions to our territory and to our country. Chancellor Allen will confer Rolf Hogan with an honorary Bachelor of Business Administration in recognition of the transformational impact Rolf has had on our community and business sector. Rolf is a Yukoner and an entrepreneur through and through. He has managed not only to develop an enduring commercial legacy that has been maintained and broadened by his children, but also to touch many aspects of daily life in the Yukon. When Rolf brought cable TV to Yukon and founded the first radio station in Whitehorse, he truly brought the outside to the territory. He was a driving force to expand access to furniture, clothing, and other retail items for Yukoners. He has always been committed to the ongoing economic reality of Whitehorse's downtown core, while also working to strengthen the health and well-being of Yukoners and ensuring arts and culture are a vibrant part of our community. Rolf Hogan has made significant contributions to our institution, most notably as Chancellor from 2008 to 2012.
Rolf Hogan, by the authority of this university, I award you this honorary degree, the Bachelor of Business Administration. Thank you for your many contributions to our Yukon community.
Chancellor Allen, President Mateer, graduates, I accept this honorary degree. I can give you a bit of history of my own involvement, but I started in the retail business when I was still going to high school. And from that small beginning, we ended up being the largest retailers in the Yukon at one time. We had the Ford motor dealership, the Honda dealership. There's just endless activities. I think maybe the most exciting item would be the founding of Canadian Satellite Communications, which served all of Canada and has now been sold to Shaw Communications. But the opportunities in the Yukon for young graduates are endless if they work hard, focus, and achieve. I would like to congratulate the first graduates from the Yukon University for the years 2020 and 2021.
Today, Chancellor Allen also confers Lawrence David Joe with an honorary Bachelor of Arts in Indigenous Governance. Lawrence is the son of Lorraine Jobin Joe and the late Douglas Joe, and great-grandson of Chief Hutchie Joe. He is of the Crow clan and a citizen of Champagne and Ajax First Nation. Lawrence leads by example and has mentored co-workers, employees, Champagne and Ajax First Nations youth, and many others. He creates opportunities to learn by doing, especially on CAFN traditional territory. Lawrence Jo is a trailbreaker who has set the path for negotiation and implementation of Yukon's First Nations final and self-government agreement. As the founding director of CAFN's Heritage, Lands and Resources Department, Lawrence established the first staff position focusing specifically on heritage in a Yukon First Nation government context. The First Nations Governance and Public Administration program at Yukon University was developed and expanded from an earlier executive development program focused on CAFN citizens, which was spearheaded by Lawrence. Lawrence Jo's legacy will continue to benefit Yukon First Nations people, all Yukoners, Canada, and the world as a model for revitalizing Indigenous self-government and for moving closer to reconciliation. Chancellor Allen will now confer the honorary credentials approved by the Yukon University Senate.
Lawrence Jo, by the authority of this university, I award you this honorary degree, the Bachelor of Arts in Indigenous Governance. Thank you for your many contributions to our Yukon community.
ING Ta'an Kwäch'än is my Southern Shoshone name. It means walks in the bush all the time. I'm honored to be recognized by Yukon University, the Board of Governors, and the nominating party. Over the years, I have been blessed to work with a lot of elders and a lot of youth as they pursue their educational dreams. And I used to say it will take a generation to fully implement the final agreement and the self-government agreements. That generation has come and gone, and a lot of work remains. First Nations may have developed legislation, developed policies, and developed programs, but many of those are developed based on the non-First Nation way of doing business, and now there's opportunity to indigenize a lot of the efforts that we're working on. And so with the well-educated and experienced First Nation people with millions of dollars to invest are changing the political, the business, and the cultural landscape of the Yukon. Our footprints are across this land as they have been for thousands of years. This is Dün Kwäch'än. It is our home, it is our land. And to the graduating class, manage it for the future, manage it for future generations so that they will have the same opportunities that you have had and that we have had. Kwanichish, thank you.
Congratulations to both Rolf Hogan and Lawrence Jo. It's a pleasure to recognize your significant achievements and contributions by bestowing upon you the highest academic award that the university can grant. At this time, I would like to introduce two of our senior academic leaders. Our deans serve as the foundational pillars for each of our two divisions. Ernie Prokopchuk is the Interim Dean of Applied Science and Management. Andrew Richardson is the Dean of Applied Arts. They each have a message for the graduating students.
Congratulations, graduates. It's been an unusual year with some unique challenges. A year that required learning new ways to learn, communicate, and collaborate. A year with its ups and downs, and new pressures and stresses, in addition to the normal pressures of school. But through all of this, you persevered. You forged ahead and emerged successfully on the other side of this academic year, and you should be proud of what you have achieved. Well done. From the deepest valley to the top of the tallest mountain, you can shout it out loud. I did it. We can hardly wait to see what you, the graduating classes of 2020 and 2021, do next.
Yukon University graduates, on behalf of the Faculty of Applied Arts, I want to congratulate you on your achievement. Convocation is a special time in the academic year. It's an opportunity to celebrate your success with family, friends, and the university community, and for the university to recognize all the hard work you've put into your studies. It's also a big turning point in a student's life. Regardless where you go next, I encourage you to take time now to reflect on what you've achieved and who you've become. And you've accomplished this against the backdrop of a very challenging year. The COVID-19 pandemic transformed how we connected with one another and learned together, but you persevered through the unknowns, and you'll be stronger for it. I want to acknowledge your courage and dedication. As you move on to the next big adventure in your life, please stay in touch. We want to know what you're up to. All the best from the Faculty of Applied Arts.
Thank you, Deans. President Mateer and Chancellor Allen will now lead the Yukon University Undergraduate Student Union on behalf of all graduates in the Convocation Pledge.
Chancellor Allen, the Deans have assured me that learners presented to you this day, and those who are absent, have met all requirements for their degree, diploma, or certificate. Accordingly, please grant them the credential they have earned.
By authority of this university, I award you the certificate, diploma, or degree to which you and those absent are entitled. I urge each one of you to use what you have learned here to build a better world for yourselves and your community. You are all now Yukon University alumni, and we are immensely proud of you. Graduates of Yukon University and partner institutions, will each of you accept the credential you have earned?
On behalf of all graduate students, we accept.
Congratulations once more to the 2020 and 2021 graduates of Yukon University. We invite all of you to visit our website at yukonu.ca/grad for the full listing of the graduates we are recognizing today. We are so very proud of you and of your accomplishment. You now join the alumni of Yukon U and go forward to contribute your talents, knowledge, and expertise to the Yukon or wherever you will call home. We hope you will be inspired to continue your lifelong learning and that you will carry a northern spirit of resilience and strength wherever your ambitions take you. Thank you for joining us. Shoni Than, Gonal Chis, Masicho.
Congratulations to all of our 2020 and 2021 graduates. You've made it through a pretty challenging year, and we're so proud of the resilience you've shown to make it through.
What you've accomplished during COVID is amazing. The skills you've acquired at Yukon U, some by choice, some by necessity, will serve you well.
We're really, really thrilled for you and for all of the work that you've done. I know it's been a tough year to go to school and to make it through your credentials, but we're so proud of you and can't wait to hear about the stories that you bring to us about what you do next after your time with us at Yukon U.
I don't know if some of you are going to go on to other academic pursuits after this, but this is a great start. And for those of you who are going into the workforce, you've reached a tremendous milestone, and I wish you all the success.
You've made it. And that shows us that you have persistence and tenacity, and you've done a huge amount of work to get here. Despite COVID, despite the longest winter in Yukon's history, you made it.
We wanted to recognize your hard work and your perseverance through the pandemic and all of the challenges that this year has brought you.
Your hard work and dedication is paying off. As you begin this next chapter in your life, take some time to recognize your accomplishment, to take in all that you have learned, and to celebrate with those that you love.
Go boldly into the world and make your mark with the knowledge and skills that you've acquired here.
I know you have all worked very hard during your studies and have faced opportunities and challenges along the way. I'm very excited to celebrate with you on this momentous occasion.
I want to wish you a huge congratulations. You've done an amazing thing, an amazing accomplishment. We're all very proud of you, and we look forward to seeing what happens in the future for all of you.
My name is David Morrison. I'm chair of the Board of Governors.
On behalf of Senate and Senate faculty,
from the board of Yukon University Foundation,
we just want to say to all students a really big congratulations!
Congratulations to the graduate of 2020 and 2021.
I want to congratulate you on your success.
Congratulations to all our graduates.
Masi Cho, Shonithon, Kunchi.
All the best to you in the future.